Steven Gurano, KO Artist Sports. We're here with my Tocayo, Steven Espinoza. Good to see you again, man.
Too.
I feel like I've seen you at least like 2 weeks ago or something
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Man, got another big one, man. Another big one. I don't know if it's the last one to close out the year. Maybe you could
I think we'll squeeze one more in after this. But this is, this is one I've been looking forward to for a while. A great style matchup.
Well, I was going to say, I feel like that's the most intriguing part about this, right? Because Boo Boo Andrade has been avoided all these years. We all kind of know why, right? If you understand boxing, you know why. He's really good, and he's just very difficult. He's very difficult to face. But David wanted it. What does that say about David Benavidez that he asked for this fight?
Well, I love the attitude from both these guys. Because too often what we saw sometimes in the Mayweather days and even the Canelo, guys like sit around and wait to get the call, don't take risky fights, try to just, win the lottery. Neither one of these guys is doing that. David in particular has said, I'm not going to wait on Canelo. I'm going to clean out the division, make myself the obvious choice. First on the hit list was Caleb Plant. Now it's Andrade, maybe Morrell in the future. But by the end of it, whoever comes out of this is, I think, got a big leg up, in the Canelo sweepstakes.
Canelo was clear about saying Crawford is not in the plan for the next two fights. I know you were talking to me about Crawford and Spencer, still trying to figure that one out. So if he's not in the plan, I mean, who else other than David, right? Is it David and then maybe a rematch if you're a loser? I mean, what's the Canelo game plan look like?
Look, there's a lot of options. There's Bivol out there. There's some mandatories. I know that maybe fans aren't most interested in or excited about, but sometimes those are obligations. But I think, look, we all know the fights that everybody wants. The winner of this fight, Benavidez Andrade, I think it jumps to the top of the list. But Canelo's going to take his time. He said to you guys, he said to us privately, hey, I'm going to go away, get some rest. We'll talk about it later and figure it out. But I think he's going to have at least one eye on this fight.
For sure, at least one, right? Yeah. Just looking at the future of Showtime, we all heard the rumors. I'm sure you've seen it. Supposedly, Showtime's pulling out of boxing at the Amazon Prime deal. I mean, what could you tell me about all that situation?
It's funny. There's a lot of inaccuracies going on. Look, we don't know what the future holds, to be completely honest. There's a lot of change going on in the industry, and we'll see. But one thing I'm really confident about, until somebody tells us differently, which they haven't yet, we're going to continue doing these kind of fight cards. And if someone tells us differently, then look, the sport's going to continue. There's a lot of value in the PBC fighters, and maybe with a different network, if that happens, maybe continuing with Showtime. But I think, look, somebody will be there to capitalize on this momentum. Hopefully, it'll be us.
Hopefully, man, you guys are good for the sport. So lastly, I want to get to Tank Davis. It sounds like Isaac Cruz rematch is, I know he said we're going to see him at the beginning of the year. I know Coach Calvin has kind of made it known that he really wants that one back. Could you give me like a percentage of what's the likelihood that it's Isaac, maybe compared to the rest of the field?
I think that's one option. I mean, obviously, that's one that's probably the most easily makeable. There are a lot of obstacles in other big fights. But one thing Tank has been real clear about is he wants the biggest fights possible. So not to say that Isaac's not a big fight. I think, both of them weren't completely satisfied with how things happened and the way they looked. So I expect a real entertaining fight if that fight were to happen. But I think it's premature to say that that's the most likely candidate right now. I think there are still plenty of options.
Man, I'm excited. It's just talking about this, like, man, it's picking up again. So
yeah, look, and that's the great thing. We got another event to announce for December, and then
Floyd.
Floyd's been out there. That could be a possibility. The other guys out there need fights before the end of the year. Boots. I know Keith Thurman wants to get in a fight. Everybody wants to get in that welterweight action. So, look, we got a busy end of the year, and then we start rolling all over again next year.
Man, I'm excited. Thank you so much, Steven. Always a pleasure, brother. Thank you.
Do you believe, David, this is the fight where the winner takes on Canelo Alvarez next?
I don't know. I'm not worried about Canelo Alvarez. I'm worried about Demetrius Andrade.
Fuck Canelo. This is it. This is the Super Bowl of the 168 division right here. This is it right here. This is the biggest fight that can be made right here. and it's grateful to be here doing it in Showtime, but this is it. David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade, the two avoided fighters. Yeah, I haven't fought the best because the best doesn't want to fight. So he can have that same claim, but at this time, in our obstacle, in our journey, it's now. So this is the fight.
His father just said, you're a great fighter, but he's stopping you in the 8th round.
My dad's not here. Sam, come over here, Sam. You look like my dad. Come over here. Talk some shit real quick. But, no, listen, listen,